If not for the woman, the Black woman, if not for her beauty, her steadfastness, her courage, her nurture, and her love, where would we be? If not for her creativity, her sass, her laughter, her ambition, and her encouragement, where would we be? Black women have labored, birthed, nurtured, cared, guided, protected, and warned us. They have carried generations on their backs and still found a way to rise, to lead, to love, and to create. Black women rock. They have shaped culture with grace and class like Felicia Rashad. They have sparked movements and redefined healing like Tarana Burke. They have danced across the world's greatest stages like Misty Copeland. They fed us, our body and our soul, through the pandemic like Danny Rose. They kept our spirits grounded in faith like Bishop Jackie McCullough. They kept joy alive and laughter flowing like Jennifer Lewis. They teach us, inform us, expand our thinking like Dr. Gloria Ladson Billings. They write the soundtrack of our lives like Twinkie Clark. They help us like Dr. Jocelyn Elders. They motivate us like Tabitha Brown. They entertain us like Queen Latifah. They challenge and warn us like Kamala Harris. They advocate and protect us like Ayanna Pressley. They remind us to rest like Trisha Hersey. They inform us and keep us aware like Laura Coates. And they clothe us in beauty and expression like Tracy Reese. And they serenade our spirits like Samara Joy. They preach us through like Gina Stewart. They direct our stories like Ava DuVernay. And they inspire us to keep going like Viola Davis. So I ask you again, if not for the Black woman, where would we be? This month, we just don't acknowledge Black women, we honor them. We don't just celebrate them, but we uplift them. So before we hop into today's conversation, let's slow down and take a breath. You might hear gentle sounds of singing bowls in the background, and that's intentional. Because today at Brother Breathe, we want to ease into the conversation and understand the purpose and the importance of pausing. So let's breathe and let's do it together.
Let's take a deep inhale. Exhale. We're going to do a simple breathing exercise called box breathing, where we'll inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4 again. Imagine tracing a box with your breath, okay? Ready? Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to come back to our natural breath. How you feeling?
I'm good. That was needed. So hopefully you all joined in with us. If not, I encourage you all to rewind and join in. All right. So today we're going to ease into this conversation. No rush. We are centered and we are open and ready to receive. But before we receive anything, I want you all to subscribe, like, and share this video. And be sure to share it with friends who you know needs some support in breathing and pausing in their life. So today we're going to talk about the healing power of sound baths and This is an area that has a growing body of research, and it explores the importance and the impact of sound baths. This ancient practice has been shown to support body energy regulation and may help reduce feelings of tension, anxiety, and depression while promoting overall spiritual and emotional well-being. So today I am honored to explore this practice with our guest today, Miss Taelor Mason. Now, she's a certified sound healer and founder of Oh Soul Well.ness. She was trained in Bali, and she has her Himalayan bowls here with us. She also specializes in wind chimes and other instruments to create an immersive sound experience that support that relaxation that you all need, right? And that emotional release to make sure that we care for our nervous system. So today, we are so happy to welcome Taelor to Brother Breathe. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Thank you.
You look good.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. So do you.
Thank you. And I thank you for entering into this space with your sound bowls, but also just walking us through breath work. And now, could you just explain a little bit like what was it, breathing box?
Box
breathing, box breath.
Box breathing, yeah.
So tell us, why is that important? What does that do for someone?
So just taking a moment just to calm and breathe, something that you can do for free, by the way, a simple reminder, but it activates your parasympathetic nervous system. So our nervous system is made up of two things, your sympathetic and your parasympathetic. And your sympathetic is your, the one that's your, just constantly on the go. You know, you're trying to survive, doing the things. And then your parasympathetic is activating your rest and digestive track. So it's calming your nervous system. It's taking you from being in your beta waves to bringing you into your alpha and your theta waves. So
that's awesome. Alpha, theta, alpha. Sound like you about to do the Greek alphabet. No, that's really dope. And that's really important because I think that often we forget how powerful just breathing is, right? And I mentioned in a few episodes ago that when I was stressed out going through a lot, the first thing that was happening was I noticed that I was short of breath, right? And, you know, when you get anxious and when you're nervous or when you feel tense, right? The first thing people tell you is to breathe, right? And so so this is going to be an exciting conversation. I want to start off really by getting a chance to get to know you a little bit more. Of course, this episode is going to come out during Women's History Month, Her Story, Women's Her Story. So this is our Her Voice, Her Advocacy series. And so let's start off with an icebreaker.
Okay.
Share with us, like before there were influencers and public figures, who were the first women in your life who inspired you to be confident and to be who you are?
Ooh. The first women in my life, it would have to be my Aunt Kelly. She was also my godmother, but she transitioned when I was in 5th grade. But she just poured so much love and light into me. And I think that's part of the reason why I am the way that I am today. And also my mom, too. Like, she encouraged me just to, you know, always live a life for myself. To always bet on me. So I would say those are the two women in my like immediate family.
I love that. Yeah. And what about any public figures or anyone who's outside of your family that maybe influenced you or has kind of instilled confidence in you?
Oh, okay. So of course the Beyonce. Of course her work ethic is just phenomenal. Yeah. Something that just like I look up to, what she was able just to accomplish, and just with her ownership through Parkwood, she has not only been able to tell her story, like she is her own story.
That part.
You know?
Yeah.
two women that I am privileged to know, Angela Rye and Felicia Butterfield.
Okay, shout out to Angela Rye. All right, yeah.
Out to Angela, yeah, Miss Felicia. But those are two women that have instilled confidence in me as well, just to be able to use my voice, to advocate for my community, for myself, just through boldness and through truth telling.
Absolutely.
With Felicia, she does impactful work, and her motto is just to lift as we climb. I share the same motto, so she helps me in that way.
I love that.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. Shout out to those women and the beautiful memory of your auntie.
Yeah.
I love that. So one other thing that we do here at Brother Breathe is do a little game, or I guess it's a little just icebreaker, another one. Finish that sentence.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to give you the start of a sentence, and you can finish however you like, whether it's funny, deep, vulnerable, poetic, however you want to go with it. Okay. So you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So the first time I experienced sound healing, I felt
Relaxed.
a sound that instantly calms my nervous system is
Ocean waves.
same. When my body tells me it needs rest, I
Sometimes I fight it. No, I'm kidding. I actually rest. I will read a book, go on a walk, listen to some music. As of recent, I've been turning on some 438 or 528 hertz frequencies.
okay.
It's amazing.
Okay, we need to talk about that. We need
Yeah.
to talk about that. Put a plug in that. If I could host a sound bath anywhere in the world, it would be.
It would be going back to Bali. I would do it there, and then bringing people to the motherland in Ghana.
Love that. If my spirit had a soundtrack today, it would be.
Ooh, that's a good
That's a
question.
real one.
Yeah.
Go
If
me.
my spirit had a soundtrack today, what would it be?
I would have to think about that too.
Yeah. It would have to be Long Walk by Jill Scott. Because I needed a long walk today.
And shout out to Jilly from Philly. Coming home to yourself means.
Honoring me.
I love that. Thank you for participating in that.
Of course.
I feel like I learned a little bit more about you, which I am learning more about you, right? We got a chance to hang out and meet through a mutual friend. Shout out to Ken.
Hey, Ken.
So, tell the folks, who is Taelor and how did she arrive to this beautiful experience that you give people and this expertise that you are developing?
Ooh, who am I? That's a really great question. I am an only child on my mother's side. Okay. I grew up bi-coastal between LA and DC. Okay. So I was always changing, doing something on a flight, flying by myself, adjusting, all the things. I think growing up, that was just normal to me, right? And who I am today, I think through my experience attending Howard University completely changed my life. And now in this space, I feel like I've always dealt with anxiety, but never really knew it growing up. Always knew I was different, but I just didn't know in what way. And I got introduced to sound healing through going on a wellness retreat with the travel group. And from there, I took some classes while I was still living in LA. And then last year, maybe, or the year before last, 2024, December, I was in a sound healing class or a sound bath class, and she did this guided meditation. And I can't remember exactly what she said, but what was brought to my attention during that class was, you need to become certified in sound healing. So I was like, okay, cool. I put it on my 2025 goals. Ended up getting laid off at the top of last year, went through a traumatic event a month later, and I was like, well, it's time to go to Bali and heal ourselves.
Right. Wow.
And so I was like, okay, well, this is part of my my story now. So let's figure out. I don't want to stay in this space of trauma or like being a victim to it or whatever it may be. Like, what can I do to change the pattern, right? The generational patterns. And that answer was healing yourself. And so, that's what got me to sound healing.
Wow.
Where I am today.
That is amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And we all need a little healing in our lives, right? And with you becoming now a sound healer expert and developing your own practice and things like that, how do people react when they hear you, when you share that with them? Like, that's what you do, and this is like beyond a hobby. This is like almost like your life's work, would you say?
I think it's getting to that point to be. I always knew I wanted to help people. I just didn't know in what capacity. And these life events just led me to figuring out what that is, right? But I think that people, I don't feel like they react like in a funny or interesting way. I think people are more so intrigued and they're like, "Oh, tell me more." Yeah. And so,
and what was the purpose behind? So, how did Oh Soul Well.ness come about, and what is the thought process behind that name?
So I was like, all right. So now that I'm certified, I need to start. Well, also, I told you I lost my job at the top of last year. So I'm like, we got to get some money coming in. So let's try to do this, okay?
You got to eat. You got to live. Right.
Yeah. So I always knew that I wanted to just kind of have an umbrella company and have some subsidies underneath that. So I'm like, okay, well, the wellness brand is going to go under this. And to give a little bit of context, while I was in Bali, I actually worked on a mind map for myself. And so I want to do a lot of things in my lifetime, and I'm only one person. And so I'm realizing that I can't do all the things at once, but I know that this is something that I want to do because I want to be able to be of service to heal and help people and get them to a point of changing their generational patterns.
Wow.
So anywho, to answer your question, I think that... Actually, can you say your question again?
The Oh Soul Well.ness. So how did you come to that name? Yeah.
How did I come to the name? I remember wanting it to be named something, but then once I was checking the trademark website, I was like, dang, it's taken. It's like, all right, so let's come back to the drawing board. So it's like, okay, well, what do I want people to feel? Or like, what is the experience? And so... that's how like Oh Soul Well.ness came about. It was like, oh, I'm Oh Soul Well. But I also wanted to include like wellness in it. So that's why you have Oh Soul Well.ness.
Oh, I like that. Okay. That's what's up.
Yeah.
And so just first of all, thank you for sharing also about your life transitions. And, you know, if you feel comfortable enough to share, I'm interested in knowing when you lost your job, like what were some of the things you were experiencing for you to arrive to the thought that, oh, I need to go to Bali, you know?
I think that I'm gonna keep it honest with you. I wanted to leave the job. And God was like, all right, well, boom, here you go. I think that the catalyst of me going to Bali was really going through the traumatic event. Wow. It's like on top of that happening and then losing my job and figuring out, okay, like, what do I want to do next? Like, is this my sign to go back into working for myself again? Or is it a sign just to, you know, do another W-2? But after that event happened, I couldn't think on anything. So I was like, you know what? Just go and take a breather. You have the time and the space to do. Like, thank God that you have a savings account that has money in it.
Because Bali ain't cheap. Okay.
When you get there. To get there, no.
Exactly.
But when you're there, it's very cheap.
Okay.
But yeah, I was like, let me put myself in a space to be able to receive, to be able to hear from God, to be able just to breathe and just be, just so I can just figure out like, what is my next steps? What do I need right now?
Yeah.
And to really be able to answer those questions.
Yeah. So what did your like healing and spiritual journey look like prior to you going to Poly? Like were you a part of therapy? Like where this was like, so you already had like a regimen to your spiritual hygiene?
Yes.
Okay.
So I had a therapist. I would see her twice a month.
Okay.
I would practice yoga, work out, hang out with friends, journal, do the things.
Okay.
So I had something going already just to feed my soul.
Yeah.
But I just needed some more.
Yeah. So like, did you just have this practice like growing up, or like how was you introduced to wellness and healthy living in that regard?
That's a really great question. How was I introduced to it? Honestly, my cousin Shelby, she introduced me to yoga.
Okay.
And so that's when I was still living in LA. You know, LA is big on the wellness scene.
Right. Yeah.
So that's how I got introduced to yoga. And and then I listened to this podcast. One of my favorite podcasts is called The Friend Zone.
Yeah, I love The Friend Zone.
Yes,
yeah, absolutely.
Yes, and so that's how I got into more so I would say doing the activities of like reparenting myself and really figuring out like who I am, what do I want out of this life, what am I being called to do. That show has inspired me or like given me some of the tools or the resources to be able to figure that out. And yeah, that's all I can think of in the moment. But
reparenting, what does that mean?
It's so funny because, all right. Okay. So reparenting to me means figuring out what your unmet needs were as a child. And being able to provide that for yourself.
Wow. you don't even know how this is so relevant right now. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so interesting. This has come up within the last 3 days of my life about like recognizing the power of forgiveness. And in terms of forgiving your parents, because I had to come to the realization that I had to forgive my mother and father. My father's deceased, but my mother is still
sorry to hear that.
Here. Thank you. But I had to forgive them, and I had to let go of the expectation of the parent that I thought I needed, right? Or that I desired. And I had to come to the realization that they would never be that for me. Especially my father, obviously he's, deceased, but even prior to his demise, we just did not have a relationship. So when I was mourning him, I was mourning more so the what ifs, the could have beens, rather than the actual person, because I always thought in my mind that we had time, and now with my mother, it's like my mother wasn't the most nurturing person ever. And it was interesting now that we are like older, I'm older and she's older, but our relationship is more like siblings, I'm like a brother almost, because it's like I'm checking in on her, I'm like making sure she's going to her doctor's appointments, doing all these things. I'm like, I don't get to be a son. So this came up this week, and so it was just interesting that you talked about
so much
that you
more
mentioned that, because it's like reparent, that's new.
So remember I told you before we got on camera that doing the track 300 through change, right? And today was week 3, and today we talked about like the unmet needs that you didn't get during your adolescent years, right? And he talks about 10 different needs, but something that I got out of the conversation was we're not going through this practice because they give you a little worksheet and assigned to each need, each of the 10 needs was a cup. And you were encouraged to figure out if those needs were met partially, none, or fully. And so, yeah. And so he said, during this activity, this is not for you to judge your parents. It's for you to figure out the truth.
Wow.
I said, okay.
And y'all doing this in church?
In church.
Shout out to Change Church.
Yes.
Lord. Y'all doing some real work over there.
Yeah, let me tell you. But this, something for you, and maybe you need to hear this, is that this woman, she got on the mic and said she got to a place of forgiving her parents. And when she did, the blessings started to overflow. I said, okay, I needed to hear that.
Wow.
I'm still getting to that point, but.
Yeah, yes. I mean, because the reality is that you, like, sitting in grief and sitting in resentment feels good. It almost feels like I'm getting back at you. Like, but in the long run, you're the only person that's hurt from it.
Yeah.
Your parents have moved on, or if they're still here, right, they are probably not even thinking about it, because they, in their mind, at least I can speak for my parents, they believe that they did the best they could.
With what they got.
And so for me, it's like, I had to realize, like, no one's benefiting from me being bitter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, I have to do the internal work to talk to the younger Tate and say, hey, like, it's okay to not have everything figured out.
Yeah.
I really don't want to say this because I don't know if I'll edit this out if I need to.
Okay.
But a friend of mine just sent me a song last night. I'm telling you, this week has been, including with you, this week has been divine.
Let me tell you, me too. Because somebody, like, read me for filth in the most positive way this past weekend.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like, I needed to hear it. And the message that stuck with me was, nobody's coming to save you. You need to save yourself.
Wow.
I said, okay.
Wow. I'm not gonna name. I'm not gonna name the. I turned my phone off. I'm not gonna name the person who, because he is a music artist, and I want to honor the fact that this song is not out yet. But he sent it to me, and one of the lyrics is, "It's not a problem not to know. You're just a child, right? And we are all grown. We are all young boys who just grew up to be men." Right. And I'm paraphrasing because I'm kind of juggling at the words because I don't want,
no, it's okay. It's okay.
But the essence of the song was about, we are all just trying to figure this out. The adults before us was just trying to figure it out.
And they didn't have the tools. They didn't have the tools. And
then, and the artist who sent it to me is a gospel artist. And, so there was like, the song is rooted in spirituality as well as, like religion, right? And so I think often in the Black church and just in general, when it comes to, adults who rely on religion so much, is that they do not honor the fact that they didn't have the tools. They don't honor the fact that they didn't know. They believe that what they know is gospel. It is truth. And it's like, no, there's another perspective, right? You don't have to, right, live this way or teach this way or be this way, right? Yes. Like my mother was like, it's my way or the highway. This is and the Bible backs me up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then, when you were to challenge, or if you were to say anything, is like, honor thy father and mother, right? Why why are you talking back to me, right? And it's like, no, I just want to I'm curious. I want to know why, and all the while they were taught something from their parents, and then from their parents, it just trickles down, and no one is really doing the work to actually question and say, wait, why am I doing this?
Yeah, that don't make sense. Why are we doing that?
Right. Right. Why is there, a series of mental illnesses within our family? Like, what is going on here? Right? Why are we not taking care of ourselves?
Let me tell you something that you said. The pastor today brought it up and said that He's had a lot of good stuff.
Oh,
but
sure. Pastor Daniels is amazing.
But it was another pastor.
Oh, okay.
Not PD this time. But he said, he gave an example of like our mothers like could be dealing with something or inflicting wounds onto us, right? All this other stuff. But then they go to church and be like, oh, I'm okay. Or like act perfect. And it's not how they are feeling. Like, what are you talking about? Why are you now being a hypocrite on what it is that you're feeling?
Right. The different faces that we put on. Yeah. Right. We put on a face to go to church and say everything is great.
Yeah, I'm blessed and highly favored.
That part. And then you come home and you spewing on everybody and you bleeding on everybody because you have wounds that has not healed. And the people who are the closest to you, like your children, are the ones who are going to be directly affected by that. Directly
affected and will be the mirror.
Exactly. This has been quite a week, but I want to say that because I've been putting you through the ringer when it comes to the schedule. Okay, you have been such a trooper, but I would say that it was the right timing, right, for us to meet, and I'll go into that later as to why. But I want to ask, because we have been talking about religion, and you went to Bali and you talked about the spiritual experience. So, do you identify as a Christian?
I identify as a Christian.
Okay.
I would like to say I'm more, how do I put this? I believe in a higher power that is God. Let me first by saying that. And I believe that his spirit is in all of us.
Yes.
And that's what I lead with. I think in certain religious institutions, it can just be very hypocritical. And so that's why, like, I'm very particular on, like, who I listen to and, like, what are they actually preaching. So I'll say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And thank you for that context. So just thinking about going to Bali, right, and you talk about this spiritual experience, how did you merge your Christianity with, because I'm assuming Bali, were you with other Christians, or were you a part of like the spirituality, a part of Bali, or were you taking on like different Buddhist tenets, or like how does that work?
No, not exactly. Okay. I think I was just doing activities that fed my soul and felt right. Okay. I don't think that I came from a stance of like bringing in my religion to it. I think I was just in the space of like, I'm going to do what I need to do that feels right, that feels good to me and my soul and what it is that I need. And God, I hope that you guide me through that. Right.
Yeah. What would you say was the most transformative moment for you in Bali?
I did this Tridesna ceremony, and how that came about was nothing but God. But I ended up, during that session, she does like a reading, and then from the reading, you go and you sit, and she tells you to scream. Scream as loud as you can. And I did. And I screamed, and she was like, so good, now do it again. And I screamed until I couldn't scream anymore. And I said, oh, that feels so good. Some people cry afterwards. Some people are fine. And then after that, she kind of just like took me through a practice and kind of just gave life over me, I guess, or spoke words of life and meaning over me. And we had a conversation for about 40 minutes. That was the highlight.
Wow.
Of the trip.
Wow.
Outside of learning this, but yeah.
So how would you respond to people who might be hesitant with these type of experiences that you are sharing, and maybe even like a sound bath, who may say, well, those ancient practices are, especially those who are Christian, right? They may say, oh, that's demonic, or that's not of God, or, you tap it into something that may not be, holy, right? So I'm interested in knowing, like, how do you hold those tensions?
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Okay.
Because I do want to be able to work with churches, right? And work with their congregations, just be able to provide healing. But I do know that there is that stigma to that. I'm still trying to find an answer to that question. But what I will say is that this is an ancient practice that has been going on for years on years on years, like thousands of years. And to me, I feel like how you perceive something, this is just me, but how you perceive something should be the way that you go, I guess. To me, I see these as instruments. Each one has a musical note, right? A piano is an instrument. It has musical notes.
You're onto something.
A guitar is an instrument. It has musical notes.
I'm walking with you.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
A trumpet is an instrument. It has musical notes. And all those things are healing.
Yes.
You listen to jazz music. People listen to jazz music, I'm sure. Blues.
You're talking to a jazz enthusiast. Yes, absolutely.
So all those things provide you calmness and healing.
Absolutely.
Do they not?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's how I see it.
This is an area of research that I think it would be so great to have someone like you, because what I'm hearing really, this is what I'm picking up. Like, you enter into this space through an interfaith lens, and this is not what you're saying. I'm not putting this on you. This is just what I'm picking up. And by interfaith, I mean that while you identify as a Christian, of course, we believe in God and higher power, but like we recognize that also God can work in other mediums and through other faiths. And I recognize I teach a world religions class. Okay. So I get it. So I know I'm coming from a different perspective, but I am, born and raised Pentecostal, so I'm a church boy through and through. But through travel, right, through education, your mind begins to expand, and you also begin to see different other cultures and different people. And you recognize that, wow, like perhaps I was limiting who God is, right? And the vastness of God through just my narrow lens to think that I can only experience God through this way, through the way that Baptists have said it, through the way United Methodists have said it, through the way that Kojic has said it. These are the only ways that I can experience God. But then when you go travel and you have these conversations and then you go see other people from different cultures, you recognize that God manifests God's self in so many other facets. And the only way you're able to be open to that is, one, being open-minded, but also through education and travel, right? And through the ways of being humble enough to receive that God can use a bowl to get yourself together, right? God can use anything, right? To really center us, recenter us, and allow us to be back in alignment with God. And I'm speaking from, I guess now, experience.
Hey now.
Hello. Because I had an opportunity to experience you and to experience this for the first time. But before I go into that, for someone who has not experienced, and I think this is an opportunity for us to kind of debunk some myths so that churches can start knocking on your door and be like, you know what, come on in, sis. Well, these missionaries are uptight. They need to relax. So the deacons, they need to, we need some help. So, come in on a Saturday morning and help us do a sound healing experience. I can see that happening. So let's use this opportunity as a moment to debunk some of those myths, so that the saved folks, my cousins and them, they can be a little more open to sound healing. Okay. So for someone who has never experienced a sound bath, what exactly happens during the session?
So it's different for everybody because everybody's body is wired differently. But I can say that when you come to a class that I host, we start off with some gentle stretching just to move the body to help you receive the sound, right? We get into some breath work so that you can start to activate your parasympathetic nervous system. And then I get into banging these things. Okay. And what someone can experience while they hear them, while they hear the bowls, also with the wind chimes, bendo shakers. I use a rain stick. I've heard, I think you told me, like, you felt yourself, like, melting into the ground, right?
Sure did.
People told me they have seen colors. Like, an aunt of mine, she actually called me today, and she was like, you know, I told you that that fourth bowl that you were playing, which is the heart bowl, F bowl. She was like, I just felt it, and I just felt it throughout my whole body, and like you could feel that, like you can feel the tension like releasing from your body. Like you can be stiff at first, and then you're starting to move your body because your body is wanting to release that tension from itself. You know, you can feel emotional. You can cry. You can just feel at peace.
Yeah.
So everybody's different. It has a different experience each time. What did you feel? I want to know.
Oh, right now. You know what's so funny? As usually, I wasn't really rushing today, actually, but I was going to bring my journal with me because I journaled about it last night.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and I was going to bring it, but I was like, I don't want to have no Moesha moment on this podcast.
No, you should have.
But I remember, so just for context, y'all, this was yoga and the sound bath healing session, and it was great. The sound, the sounds that I heard were great, but I like that we started off with it and then had yoga and then ended so just for context, y'all already know me. Like I'm as churchy as they come. Okay. So even though I'm open-minded, clearly I teach world religions. I'm a student, so I have to be more open-minded. But deep down in my soul, Taylor, I'm an old country Pentecostal boy, okay? So, you know, I listen to nothing but gospel. I be in the gym, banging my head. Everybody think I'm probably listening to some, I don't know, R&B or, Master P. See, that's how old I am. I'm talking about Master P. But I'm listening to Mississippi Mass Choir. I'm churchy, okay? So I'm always kind of a little skeptical. That's I'm grandmama's boy, so there's a little bit of me like, all right, go in here and pray over yourself. I don't want nothing attaching to me and all these things or whatever. But I went in with an open mind. But there was something very unique that I wrote about it last night that I recognized that when we started off with the sounds and you did some of the bowls and some of the wind chime, no, not the wind chimes, but the rain stick, I was like, okay, cool. Like I can feel myself kind of settling into it. But it wasn't until we started doing the yoga and the stretching and the opening of the body that I believe prepared me for another level of experience. So after we stretched and did all that, and I was, struggling because these knees are mine, my Lord. And I didn't know it's an expert level yoga class. I was like, no, Taylor got me in here.
Moving,
my Lord, there was no rest for the weary. She was like, you either coming or you going. Like, well, baby, and I was just back there shaking, but everybody was so nice. Everybody, they probably talked about me afterwards, but I hung on in there.
Thank you for hanging in.
But I'm so glad I did. So when you said, lay on our back, and I'm sweating, trembling, trying to come down from the yoga session, I kid you not, and if I'm lying, I'm dying. Because this is a longer session, and you started going more deeper, I felt, and because my body was already, my back was open, I felt my body literally melting into the ground. And so if anybody knows me, especially my close friends, they know that I carry a lot of tension in my forehead. And my sister said it because she said, because you're always thinking. She's like, but I carry a lot of tension, so I have a lot of wrinkles. Someone, a new friend of mine said I should try Botox.
Oh, Lord.
But, we'll get there one day. So, anywho.
The shade.
But I do. Taylor, I never felt so relaxed.
Really?
In my forehead. And I don't know if it's because I was laying down, but also it just felt like there was no need for me to scrunch or to stress. And I was like, oh, this is new, because even when I go get massages, they're always saying relax. Can you stop being so tense? And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. Seriously, I don't. It's an issue for me. But let me fast forward. When you did the wind chimes.
That's my favorite part.
What I experienced, and I just mentioned to you, I'm a country boy. I almost was transported
Yes.
to a old country house on the porch, and I'm looking out at the field. And all I see is green pastures and a sun that's shining so bright. And I just felt so relaxed. And then out of nowhere, I started drinking
so
tea.
happy. This makes me so happy.
I was like,
okay.
I'm not kidding you. I'm not playing with you, but I'm also very vivid. I'm a very vivid person. But then something else interesting happened. The image of a person that I am getting to know, like we're not dating or anything, but I'm getting to know this person, their face came up.
Oh, wow.
And it just stayed there.
Oh, so does that mean it's your partner?
I don't know. But it was just there. And then I started feeling a wind blow.
Really?
And it felt like a really nice breeze on a hot day. But it was all from the wind chimes.
I love this.
And I'm telling you, like, so I'm not tooting your horn just because you're in my face. I called my friend on the way back home. I called one of my good friends. I said, yo, I just had this sun bath healing, sound bath. But it was it smelled like a sun bath. But this sound bowl healing experience. And I was like, I just feel so relaxed. Yes. You know, and it was funny because I actually was talking to a person who caused me stress early in the day. And I ended up calling him back, and I was just so relaxed. And he was like, oh, I thought you was going to call me and, like, you know, rip me one. And I was like, no, I just wanted to tell you about this experience I had. We were moved, and he ended up buying some sound bowls from Amazon. He was like, he told me, well, if it make you feel that way, I know I need to get me some because you're the most uptight person I know.
I'm hollering. But can I say, like, I don't get to know a lot of people's experiences, like when I'm doing these sessions. And so it really warms my heart to know that that's what you experience, you know, because that is the goal. Yeah. That is the goal. I feel like a lot of us don't know how to live with peace and rest. Yeah. You know, our ancestors did not have the opportunity to receive that privilege. Yeah. You know? And it's not even a luxury. It's a way that you should just be.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so the fact that you were able to experience that and have that vivid imagery, I think that's just so beautiful. Woo!
And I promise you all, you have made a believer out of me because, and again, going back to the divine intervention with our scheduling and stuff, I feel like God had it set up in a way that I needed to experience that before having this conversation with you. Because I feel like there would have been something missing had we had this conversation, and I just would have been imagining what this is. But having that, and for context, y'all, this happened yesterday. Like I had the experience yesterday, so like, it's still fresh within me. Yeah. And I was telling my friend Jeffrey, I was like, I've been so tired all day. And so now that I'm here talking to you, I realize I was like, am I mistaking peace for tiredness or maybe relaxation? Because I really felt like I was tired all day. And I was like, you know, I had to snap out of it. So I went to go get a coffee or whatever. But like, perhaps now I'm just maybe relaxed. Because this is new for me. I don't know what that feels like, you know? And so, needless to say, I'm signing up for another session. Okay. I'm coming. You have made a believer out of me. And if you can briefly kind of explain the transitions between the bowls and the wind, because I'm telling you, that wind chimes did something. That was a shift. that was a shift. So I'm like, is there a progression to certain elements? Like,
I just free flow.
You just flow.
I free flow. I do whatever feels right in that
moment. Flow in the Holy Spirit. That's what you're doing.
I will have I kind of set up what I want to say. And the intention that I want to bring to the class, and I may have like an idea of like the notes that I want to play, but then like once I get in there, I'm like, okay, well, let's see what we have today. Yeah, and then I just operate in that space.
Because you threw out a phrase, and you said, "Imagine who you want to be." If I'm not mistaken, it was something along the lines.
Probably, I could tell you. Yeah, I got my notes.
Yeah,
I wrote it down.
And so I wonder if what you were sharing with us in that such vulnerable state of openness, I'm wondering if that's also what contributed to my imagination and the scene that's set up. So I'm like, because I think you asked, what do you want to be?
I said, bring your awareness inward, past the noise, past the expectations, back to you. Just notice what's there. There may be a feeling, a word, or even just a sense. You don't have to figure it out. Allow yourself to be present in this moment. From this place, I invite you to gently ask yourself, what is one thing I can do for myself this week
One thing I can do
that honors how I want to feel?
Yeah.
Not out of obligation, not for anyone else, but something just for you.
Yeah.
What came to you?
I believe setting that up the way that you did allowed my inner self to say that it's okay to slow down. Like for the past 3 weeks, I've been jumping from city to city, and when I say to city, but I've been traveling a lot. So it's like, going from Texas to LA to Virginia Beach, and then came back here, and now I'm going to New York. So I was like, I need to slow down.
Yeah.
And oh wow,
Something's coming to you now?
Yes, because the green pastures and the porch is my grandmother's home, who lives in a rural town in the country. And whenever I was a kid, and me and my mom would travel from Waco to this little country town called Rosebud, I would look out the window, and the only thing I would see is green pastures. And that's the most relaxed I felt. And the little boy in me was filled with joy because I know I'm about to go see my grandmother. And that, wow.
Woo!
Wow.
So the message here is that you need to slow down.
Wow. Wow, that is amazing.
But are you receiving that?
I'm learning to.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm learning to. Yeah.
Okay. It takes patience. It's okay.
Wow, y'all. That And my next question is, what are some of the most common emotional responses people have during a sound healing session?
I think you just answered it. Okay.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, that's part of the reason why I do want to do this work, or even do this work, because we live in a society that teaches us that being busy is productive, right? But productivity can look like rest.
Wow.
We get our most, I know for me, when I'm being still and when I'm being quiet, I get my best ideas. I've heard Pastor Teray say that too. Creativity comes when you're relaxed.
Yeah.
You get so much more out of life when you're just existing and being and in a space of relaxation.
Yeah.
So I encourage you to slow down.
And that
so
kind of goes.
Feel that.
That kind of goes back to the theme of your business, right? Coming home to yourself, right? And the theme of that we were talking about earlier, what does it mean to come home to yourself? For me, I just had the revelation right now. It's like coming home to myself literally means come home, reminding myself of what I called home, right? Even as a kid, And so I just think that is so powerful. And the work that you're doing is really God ordained.
Oh,
right?
Thank you.
Like even thinking about you saying, I'm being open and allowing the Holy Spirit, really call a thing a thing. The Holy Spirit leading you and guiding you on how you should orchestrate that experience for people in those sessions.
Yeah.
That's powerful. And then you talked about the frequencies earlier. So what type of experience or impact does the different frequencies have on our bodies?
So, based on what I've learned is that each musical note is assigned with different energy pathways within your body. So this bow that I have right here, I think this is A. So this is your third eye. This is F, which is your heart. This is D. And I believe this one's sacral. This is sacral. So you'll likely feel these in those areas, or if you hear them in a certain energy pathway that you're feeling in the most, that's probably where you need to do some work on.
Okay. So yesterday you must have been all in this one. Cause it got there. It got there.
To your heart?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, and what are these bowls made out of? What are they?
They're made out of seven different metals. I know it's copper, silver, a little bit of gold. There's some other ones that I don't remember off the top of my mind. But these are Himalayan metal bowls. The shop says that these are new moon. So they were created in the new moon and charged in the new moon. They have full moon bowls. They have sun bowls. Then you have like your crystal bowls. I do want to get some of those, but I want to get the alchemy ones. They sound so much more angelic. But I need to wait to invest in those.
Absolutely. Wow. So for those who may not have the options of having bowls right in their home, or like, what would you say are some type of music or maybe frequencies or tones that people can play in their car, in their home, or their office whenever they feel tense or stressed, or any recommendations?
Yeah. So you can listen to, like I said earlier, I recently started listening to 432 and 528 hertz frequencies. They have playlists on YouTube and Spotify.
Okay.
I have a little Spotify playlist. I was playing it on the way here.
Okay.
You can listen to that. Jazz music is always a thing. My little cousin, she's on the spectrum, high functioning, and she loves to listen to jazz music before she goes to bed.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So that helps her. Any other music? Sometimes for me, like some lo-fi R&B works. Yeah.
Yeah. And just as we wrap up, what would you say to those, especially, young brothers out there who might be skeptical of this type of experience and, feel like, I don't know, this is like not my thing, or sound healing is not real, or it doesn't have an impact or benefits. What would you say to those skeptics out there?
I would say it's okay to be skeptical, but be open to new experiences. It's not, sound healing works. It's just something that just exists. Like if you're tapping your foot on the ground while listening to a song, like we've always had that, like popping your head. It's just something that you do, right? And so being able just to lay on a mat or lay on some pillows, whatever it is, right? Lay in your bed and listen to it. You're just receiving, and your body is automatically doing something because the frequencies are working their way into your nervous system. So whether you think it's working or not, it's working.
Absolutely.
And so, I mean, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, I love that.
Be open to new experiences because you deserve to heal and to just be. And our ancestors didn't work as hard as they did for us to not be in a place of being healed.
Absolutely.
I'll be damned.
Absolutely. That part. And I'm a living witness that you can do it. Like, just be open, and I mean, you made a believer out of me. So I'm so excited. Before we wrap up, I did want to share this with you. I wanted to give you flowers while you can see them and a little card. Because I'm telling y'all, she has been so patient with me. And I'm just so grateful for this opportunity to have met you, but also experience your ministry, because this is what it really is. And I hope and I pray that Oh Soul Well.ness takes off, and that you get into those churches and we start healing these folks and, making sure that folks live long, right? And that they're able to handle stress and anxiety well. How can folks follow you, and you have any upcoming sessions that maybe people can put in their calendar if they're in Atlanta?
You can follow my business page, Oh Soul Well.ness on Instagram. My personal page is Taelor Chanel, Taelor, and then Chanel like the perfume. And my next session is going to be in April with Shanice again. Let me look up the dates because we're doing once a month. But I am trying to work on figuring out my own residency, like through nice. Through like a studio or somewhere else. So I'm still working on that, but my next immediate one is April 21st.
April 21st. Okay.
April 21st, May 26th, and June 23rd.
Awesome. And it's all, the location is at the Hyatt?
Yep, Hyatt
Okay.
Centric Midtown.
Okay. Okay. That is so good to know. And I just thank you for being a part of Brother Breathes, Her
Thank you for
Voice, Her
having me.
Advocacy series, and sharing your gift with us and your light. And so to end us out, share with us, some last thoughts, some last moments. I want you to have the last words for tonight.
Thank you.
But anything that you want to share that perhaps you didn't get to, or just some last words, your encouragement for our listeners on tonight.
What are the words that I have to say? You deserve everything that you aspire to be, want out in life. Sometimes that means slowing down, right? In order to be able to figure out what is that path for you. Honor yourself. Listen to that inner voice in your head. Don't try to go out there and people please your way through life, because it just don't work. Please yourself, please God, and be of service.
Absolutely. Be of service. So keep healing, keep breathing, keep becoming. Peace out. Until next time.